Hi, I'm Kiara. For as long as I could remember, our family reunions had been the highlight of my summer. 10 years of memories, laughter, and tradition. Until this year, when the invitations went out to everyone but me. The knock on my apartment door came unexpectedly. When I opened it, my brother Marcus stood there, hands shoved in his pockets, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. "Hey, Kay, got a minute?" he asked, his usual joking tone noticeably absent. "Sure, come in. What's with the serious face? Someone die?" I laughed, moving aside to let him in. Marcus didn't laugh back. He took a seat at my kitchen counter, fingers drumming nervously. "So, you heard about the reunion next weekend, right?" I grabbed 2 sodas from the fridge. "No, actually, when did the invites go out?" "I didn't get mine yet." His face fell. "That's kind of why I'm here." "What do you mean?" "They didn't invite you, Kay," he said quietly. "Aunt Vivian convinced everyone not to." The soda can slipped from my hand, hitting the floor with a metallic clang. "What? Why would she do that?" "She's been telling everyone that you're trying to contest Grandpa's will to get the lake house for yourself." Marcus couldn't meet my eyes. "Says you hired a lawyer behind everyone's back." "That's ridiculous. I haven't done anything like that." Marcus nodded. "I know, but Aunt Vivian's been planning this for months. She's got Uncle Richard backing her up, and you know how everyone listens to him." "And nobody thought to ask me about it?" My voice cracked. 10 years, Marcus. I haven't missed one in 10 years. "I tried to tell them, but Vivian had this whole story about how you told her directly you were going to take the lake house from the family." I paced across the kitchen. "I literally haven't spoken to Aunt Vivian since Christmas, and we talked about her new car, not Grandpa's will." "There's more," Marcus said, looking even more uncomfortable. "Cousin Zoe overheard Vivian talking to someone about property values around the lake. She thinks Vivian wants to sell the place and she's using you as a distraction." My heart pounded. "Our family lake house? The one Grandpa specifically left to all of us to share? She can't sell it without everyone's agreement." "Unless," Marcus raised his eyebrows, "she convinces everyone that one member of the family, you, is trying to take it for themselves, then sells it as a way to protect the inheritance." "That's why she didn't want me at the reunion," I whispered, the realization dawning. She's going to convince everyone to sell while I'm not there to object. "Bingo." Marcus pulled out his phone. "Zoe's been gathering evidence. She recorded Vivian talking to a real estate agent about getting the family on board." "Why didn't Zoe come to me directly?" Marcus sighed. "Vivian's been monitoring her calls. She's practically under house arrest since Vivian caught her snooping." "This is insane," I said, sinking into a chair. "Our own family, excluding me based on lies." "So," Marcus leaned forward, "what are we going to do about it?" I met his eyes, anger replacing shock. "We're going to stop her and make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person Aunt Vivian really is." "You seriously think Grandma Eleanor is going to believe us over her own daughter?" I asked Marcus as we pulled up to our grandmother's house the next day. "Grandma sees more than people give her credit for," Marcus replied. "Plus, she loves that lake house more than anyone. If she knew Vivian was trying to sell it..." The door opened before we could knock. Grandma Eleanor stood there in her floral apron, gray hair perfectly styled as always. "Well, if it isn't my 2 favorite grandkids showing up unannounced," she said, eyeing us suspiciously. "What kind of trouble are you stirring up?" "Can't we just visit our favorite grandmother?" I asked, giving her a hug. Last time you two came together without calling first, Marcus had crashed his car and needed money before your parents found out." She ushered us into her kitchen. "So, what is it this time?" Marcus jumped right in. "Grandma, did you know Kiara isn't invited to the reunion?" Grandma's smile faded. "I heard something about that. Vivian said you were making some kind of fuss about the lake house, honey." "That's not true," I said firmly. "I love that house exactly as Grandpa wanted it, for the whole family to share and enjoy." "Then why would Vivian say otherwise?" Grandma asked, setting down a plate of cookies with more force than necessary. Marcus pulled out his phone. Because of this. He played Zoe's recording. Vivian's unmistakable voice filled the room. Lakefront properties going for 7 figures now. If we move quickly after the reunion, we could have the cash distributed before winter. Just need to handle my troublesome niece first. Grandma's face hardened. Turn that off. She sat heavily in her chair. I knew something wasn't right. Vivian's been asking about my portion of the inheritance, talking about investing it for me. She's been spreading lies about me to get everyone against me, I said. So I wouldn't be at the reunion to object when she proposes selling. The doorbell rang. Grandma looked alarmed. That'll be Richard. He always drops by on Tuesdays. Uncle Richard's booming voice preceded him into the kitchen. Eleanor, you'll never guess who... He stopped short seeing us. What are you two doing here? Family visit, Marcus said casually. We were just talking about the reunion. Richard's expression darkened. Kiara, you know you're not invited. Yeah, I heard. I cut in. Because apparently I'm trying to steal the lake house? Funny, since I've never discussed that with anyone. Vivian said, he began. Vivian is lying, Grandma interrupted, standing up. I just heard her own voice plotting to sell that house out from under all of us. That can't be right, Richard protested, though uncertainty flickered across his face. She's just trying to protect the family. From what, Richard? From me? I demanded. What exactly have I done? Vivian said you were contesting the will, he stammered. And you believed her without a shred of evidence, I said. Without even asking me. Is that true, Richard? Grandma asked sharply. You didn't think to verify before turning the family against my granddaughter? Richard looked away. Vivian was very convincing. She always is, I said bitterly. So what now? Marcus asked. The reunion's 3 days away. Grandma Eleanor's eyes gleamed with determination. Now? Now we make sure everyone hears the truth. Including Vivian, I added firmly. I think it's time we all had a family meeting. One where everyone's invited. She won't like that, Uncle Richard warned. Good, Marcus, Grandma, and I replied in unison. I wasn't expecting the pounding on my door 2 days later. When I opened it, I found nearly my entire family crowded in the hallway. Aunt Vivian at the front, face flushed with anger. How dare you go behind my back? She spat before I could speak. Calling an emergency family meeting? Spreading lies about me? Please come in, I said calmly, stepping aside. Since you all came to my home uninvited, I assume you're ready to talk. They filed in awkwardly. Uncle Richard, Cousin Zoe slipping me a supportive nod, Grandma Eleanor looking determined, and various other relatives looking confused. Marcus was already inside, having arrived early to prepare. There's nothing to talk about, Aunt Vivian declared. You're trying to divide this family because you didn't get your way. That's interesting coming from you, I replied, considering you're the one who excluded me from our tradition of 10 years based on a complete fabrication. I did what was necessary to protect this family, she insisted. You were planning to contest the will. When exactly did I tell you that, Aunt Vivian? I interrupted. What date? What time? Who else was present for this conversation that never happened? She faltered momentarily. You made your intentions clear at Christmas. We talked about your new BMW at Christmas, Aunt Vivian. Nothing else. Well, your attitude. My attitude? I laughed without humor. Is that what you're going on? Because I'm pretty sure Grandpa's will doesn't have a clause about attitudes. Uncle Richard stepped forward. Kiara, maybe we should all calm down. I am perfectly calm, Uncle Richard. Unlike your wife, who's been actively working to sell our family lake house without everyone's consent. A murmur ran through the gathered family. That's absurd, Vivian sputtered. I would never... Zoe? I nodded toward my cousin. Zoe pulled out her phone, hands shaking slightly. I recorded you, Aunt Vivian. Talking to that real estate agent about selling as soon as possible after the reunion. You did what? Vivian lunged for the phone, but Marcus stepped between them. Everyone needs to hear this, he said firmly. The recording played again, this time with more of the conversation. Vivian clearly discussing getting around the shared ownership problem and using the troublesome niece as leverage. The room fell silent when it ended. You were going to sell Grandpa's lake house, Grandma Eleanor said, her voice trembling. The home he wanted kept in this family forever. I was trying to be practical, Vivian protested. That old place is falling apart. The money would benefit everyone. That wasn't your decision to make, I said quietly. And it certainly wasn't your right to exclude me and lie about me to make it happen. Kiara, honey. Vivian's tone suddenly shifted to pleading. I may have gone about this the wrong way, but I was thinking of the family. Please, can't we just put this behind us? I'm sorry if I hurt you. No, I cut her off. You're not sorry you hurt me. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. How dare you? She stepped toward me, finger pointed accusingly. After everything I've done for this family, for you? What exactly have you done for me, Aunt Vivian, besides try to steal my inheritance and turn my family against me? You ungrateful little... She raised her hand and several people gasped. Uncle Richard caught her wrist. Vivian, don't! Get off me! She shrieked, yanking free and knocking over a lamp in the process. All of you are going to regret this, especially you, she hissed at me. I swear you'll never set foot in that lake house again. I'll burn it down first. The threat hung in the air as Vivian stormed toward the door, pausing only to add, This family is finished. She actually threatened to burn down the lake house? The police officer looked up from her notepad. In front of all these witnesses? Yes, Uncle Richard confirmed, looking exhausted. My wife, she wasn't thinking clearly. We were all gathered in my living room the next morning. Most of the family, 2 police officers, and our family lawyer who Marcus had called immediately after Vivian's outburst. And the recording of her discussing the property sale? The officer asked. Zoe handed over her phone. It's all there. She was going to sell it without everyone's consent, which violates the terms of our grandfather's will. The family lawyer nodded. The property was left equally to all 6 grandchildren with stipulations that any sale would require unanimous agreement. Miss Winters was attempting to circumvent that legal requirement. And where is Mrs. Winters now? The officer asked. At a hotel, Uncle Richard replied. She refuses to come home until, and I quote, everyone comes to their senses. Well, we'll need her to come to the station regarding the threats to destroy property, the officer said. And you'll want to file a restraining order to keep her away from the lake house until this is resolved. I can't believe it's come to this, Grandma Eleanor murmured, patting my hand. My own daughter. I'm sorry, Grandma, I said softly. Don't you dare apologize, she replied firmly. Vivian did this to herself. After the officers left with promises to contact Vivian, the family slowly dispersed. 3 days later, our actual reunion took place, at the lake house, as tradition dictated, but with one notable absence. Restraining order was approved, Marcus announced, joining me on the dock where I sat watching the sunset. Vivian can't come within 500 feet of this place. How's Uncle Richard handling it? I asked. He's filed for separation, Marcus said, surprising me. Says he can't be with someone who would treat family this way. He's staying in the guest room at Grandma's for now. I never wanted to break up their marriage, I said. You didn't. Vivian's actions did. He skipped a stone across the lake. The property fraud investigation is ongoing. Lawyer says she'll likely face charges. Zoe appeared behind us. Room for one more? I patted the dock beside me. Always. Just got a text from Aunt Vivian, she said, showing us her phone. She's begging everyone to reconsider and says she's truly sorry and wants to make amends. Are you going to respond? Marcus asked. Zoe looked at me. That depends on Kiara. I stared out at the water, thinking of 10 years of reunions, of Grandpa's love for this place, of the family bonds Vivian had been willing to destroy. No, I said finally. Some things can't be fixed with an apology. What she did wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated betrayal. She can be sorry all she wants, but I don't have to accept it. Are you sure? Zoe asked gently. She is family. Family doesn't do what she did, I replied. And sometimes the hardest lesson is learning that actions have permanent consequences. Grandma Eleanor joined us, lowering herself carefully to sit beside me. Your grandfather would be proud of you, standing up for what's right. Even though it divided the family? The family was already divided the moment Vivian chose deception over honesty, she said wisely. You just brought that division into the light where we could all see it? As the sun disappeared behind the trees, casting long shadows across the lake, I felt a weight lifting from my shoulders. So, Marcus nudged me. Same time next year? I smiled, looking around at the people who had chosen truth, who had stood by me when it mattered. Absolutely. Every year, just like Grandpa wanted. Just not everyone will be receiving an invitation, Zoe added with a small smile. Some exclusions, I said, are completely justified. What would you do if your family betrayed you? Would you forgive, or would you stand firm like Kiara? Share your thoughts in the comments below.